Blender 2.9 is just a few weeks away from its official release, and as always I've been testing Blender through its alpha stage so you don't have to. The software went into feature lock recently, which means the devs are currently just polishing the features and removing the bugs before its official release. So here's 6 of my favourite features coming to Blender near the end of this month. So first up, we have a totally new sky texture. Blender's old sky texture was okay for some uses, but it was a bit basic. You could control the hue and brightness of the sky, but that was about it. Now, in 2.9 we have this new option in the sky texture called Nishita. It's a much more accurate method of modelling light scattering, and you can create some awesome sunrise effects like this. You can affect the way that light is scattered just by altering the thickness of the ozone, the air and the dust. You can even change your altitude all the way from sea level right up to outer space. The sun disk itself can be altered in size and position, and you can of course even keyframe all of this stuff to create some really nice day-night cycles and time-lapse effects. Blender 2.83 implemented an awesome new Viewport denoising feature, but it was limited to certain graphics cards, meaning that most people couldn't use it. The same feature will now be available to everybody because it supports CPU rendering. It works incredibly well, but it can introduce some viewport stuttering like this when you use it on very simple scenes. To fix that issue, you just need to go into the settings and increase the number of samples before the denoiser takes effect. I've found that on simple scenes you want to have it set to about 10. This feature's been really invaluable to me the last few weeks just for previewing scenes quickly and getting an idea of what the final render's going to look like. It's actually quite amazing how quickly you can turn a noisy mess into a really presentable image. And of course, the longer you leave it running, the better your image will look. There's also a new system in place for fixing the Terminator shadow issues on objects and cycles. You've probably encountered this problem before when you have a low poly mesh and the shading has all these artifacts where the shadow hits the light when you have smooth shading enabled. Previously, the only workaround for this was to add more levels of geometry, but that isn't always practical and it takes 3 or 4 levels of subdiv just to remove the artifacts from this figure. It results in a really high poly mesh, which is really unwieldy. In 2.9 we now have this shading option in the Objects Property tab. It allows you to manually control the gradient of shadow over the object, which means you can hide the transition between the light and the shadow. Obviously this is slightly less physically accurate, but it does look much better than a jagged edge. There's also been several improvements to the EEVEE editing suite. One of my favourites is this new option for correcting face attributes. In previous versions of Blender, textures would stretch and deform if you altered the mesh or added any extrusions to a face. This was a real pain if you textured an object only to realise that it needed to be resized slightly. In 2.9 this is no longer a problem. You can expand or extrude faces all you like and the texture will continue to display correctly based on your existing UV map. In edit mode there's a really helpful feature I use all the time where you can hold down Control and it'll draw the shortest path between 2 verts that you select. Now that same feature works in the UV editing space and I've found that's really helpful just to draw new seams quickly onto a UV map. You can also rip UV maps into 2 by pressing the V key when you have some faces selected. One of the most requested features on the Blender community site has always been an overhaul to the modifier stack system. In previous versions of Blender, it was always very fiddly to move modifiers around the stack. Doing something simple like moving a modifier from the bottom to the top of the stack required you to chase the modifier all the way up, moving it one step at a time. That could get really confusing if you have multiple modifiers that all look the same. In 2.9 there's an option to move modifiers straight to the top or the bottom of the stack. You can duplicate them or apply modifiers even when the tabs are closed, and finally you can drag or drop modifiers into any position you like. If you open the modifiers up, you'll also notice that most of them have been cleaned up so they look much less cluttered. And finally, we have another long requested feature. The EEVEE motion blur system has been totally rewritten from the ground up. The first version of EEVEE motion blur was extremely limited. You could only apply it to camera movements, not to object movements. But in 2.9 we have full object motion blur. It has all these different settings that you can tweak. I've found that it looks really good, and it renders out surprisingly quickly considering it basically renders multiple versions of the same object. So that was 6 of my favourite features coming to Blender 2.9. Let me know in the comments what features you're looking forward to the most, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.